love the game. I love the hustle, man.
Yo, what's good? I go by the name of Steph. We are back with the All That No Rim podcast number 4, man. We moving, and we are in the middle of the summer. It's the last week of July. My birthday was just yesterday, so I'm feeling kind of good.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, my brother.
Little tired, man. Got to just start partying, and I'm going to be partying 2 more days, so I got a long weekend ahead of me, but you know what I'm saying? It's all good. We got Teddy White. Now, he's heading out tomorrow on Friday, to go visit his father. Praise up for your family, brother, and your father.
Yeah, praise your dad.
You know
for
what I'm saying?
sure.
And yeah, so we had to get this pod in today, and like I said, the last one, you know, we don't want to just throw anything up, but we've been getting some basketball news, so we're going to talk about it. A lot of interesting topics that we felt we wanted to touch on, and that's what we're going to do today. Again, I go by the name of Stealth. We got Doughboy Bush, and we got Teddy White right below me. And man, how your brothers feeling today, man?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
It's a beautiful day to be alive, man. Also, too, happy birthday today to my brother Street Knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying?
R.I.P. Happy birthday to the brother.
Really my brother, though. Rest up.
Rest in peace, man. He was a big sports fan, big music fan, all that. You know what I'm saying? Rapper, really good rapper. You know what I mean? So we just wanted to, you know what I'm saying, let that be known, representing for our brother today. But yeah, so first topic today, we're going to talk about Deaaron Fox. And there's been some rumbling. I was watching ESPN the other day, and I believe the first person I heard say it, I believe, was what's my guy's name over there? Kendrick Perkins. He was saying that Deaaron Fox can be a dark horse. He believes could be a dark horse for the MVP, runnings, or be a candidate for the MVP award the following NBA season. I'm going to kick it to Teddy White. Let's go to you, man. What's your thoughts on that? Then we're going to go to Doughboy after that, and y'all know how I do. I'll kind of chime in after y'all. So, Teddy White, talk to me, man. Is Deaaron Fox a dark horse for the MVP?
I can't even argue with it. I like it. I like it. I ain't going to lie. I'm not going to front. That was not my dark horse pick, but you know what? He put it on my mind, and I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay.
You know what? A long stretch, I'm going to say that. You know what I'm saying? It could be a far shot, but is it possible? Absolutely. I mean, he averaged 25 points last season, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, my guy was shooting over 51%. But he's definitely going to have to boost those points up. He's going to have to boost this.
25's a lot. What, he got average 30?
That close to
25 points is a lot of points. That's a lot.
25 is a lot.
That's a lot of NBA points.
You know what? Yes, it is for the B tier players. That is a lot.
Okay.
Wow.
You know what I mean? This is the guy that's the man of the team.
Okay.
I need 29,
Definitely
30.
All right.
You know what I mean? Now we up there with the Giannis. If you see the last couple MVP races has been the same. 3, you know what I mean? 3 to 5.
Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, Embiid, Giannis. Yeah.
Add Luka in there, maybe a Bron.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he could definitely do it. Kings are definitely going to have to stay in that somewhere between that 3 and 4 range for him to stay in that MVP race.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or even to just even be mentioned in it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's my opinion. How he ended the playoff season, he needs to come in just like that.
Definitely.
Like that.
Doughboy Bush, what's your opinion? Can Deaaron Fox be a dark horse MVP candidate?
I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb on this one.
We kind of touched on this before we started recording, right? And I heard what you said. Right. I kind of heard what you were as you were taking your notes, I kind of heard what you was over there rumbling. But the Teddy White, did he just convince you, man? What's your thoughts, man? Can Deaaron Fox be an MVP candidate?
Did Teddy White go ahead and convince me?
Did he convince
you? I would say no.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
I like the fact that, he was averaging 25, 4, 6, and 1. You know what I mean? Which is good numbers. For sure, but he's, you compare him to a Joel Embiid that was averaging 33. Jokic, unfortunately he was averaging a little bit more than Jokic. Jokic was at 24.5. So I, to kind of disagree with what you were saying, since as far as he needs to go ahead and average 30, I really don't see it. He can probably stay around that pocket of maybe 25, 24 a game, just considering what Jokic did, and then Giannis at 31.1. The reason why I said that is probably definitely in those because the Sacramento Kings don't really get enough airtime for everybody to actually pay attention to what he does and his body of work.
Great point.
On the court.
Great
you know
point.
what I mean?
Great point.
If he was on, some of these, nightly games that are on TNT, ESPN, or ABC a lot more, versus showing us the regular, same 6-5 teams, every day and, day in and day out, it makes it kind of hard for people to really gravitate towards seeing that as an option. Now, if they start giving them more airtime and he does have the same productive year that he had last year and maybe a little bit, more, then yeah, we can go ahead and throw him in the conversation of possibly being an MVP. But right now, just based on because they are in a smaller market, they really haven't made any noise and I don't know how long. This is their first year in how many years has it been since they made the playoffs?
16? Was it 16 season?
16, yeah. So 16 years since they, made the playoffs. Now, what he did do once he got on the big stage, he made everybody else pay attention to who he was and made everybody pay attention to who the Kings were too as well. So as long as he can keep that body of work up, and maybe Kendrick Perkins and somebody else can go ahead and get in there and talk about him a little bit more, then maybe, we can go ahead and say, hey, look, you know what? Brody got a good chance of getting in there. But right now, just based on from what I've been seeing and the fact that they don't show them on TV enough as far as the Sacramento Kings go, it's going to be relatively hard for him to make a case to be in that bracket or that echelon of saying, hey, look, I'm MVP. Look at me.
You made a great point.
So that's right.
You made a great point when you talked about the lack of national games and
yes, for sure.
eyes that are on the Sacramento Kings from a weekly perspective, because the media votes for the MVP, right? So
definitely.
Yeah, they'll probably get maybe 2, maybe 3 national games, and maybe on TNT late in the season might get like a ESPN couple Friday night games or something like that. But they're not going to get a whole lot of games. We all know who we're going to see. We're going to see the Knicks, Lakers, Boston, Philly, Clippers. Those are the teams we see every single year.
Warriors,
and that's why League Pass makes so much money, because people don't just want to watch those teams all the time. Especially when you're in a different market, you kind of want to see the teams that you're battling with, that are in your division, your conference, things like that, in your area. You know what I mean? You want to see those teams and those games. So I do feel like that's going to affect him. Now, I'm going to say maybe. Teddy White says yes. You said no. I'm going to say maybe he can be. But I think it depends on a lot of different things. Well, like you said, and I do agree with you, Dope Boy. I feel like he could average around that same thing, 25 points. You know what I mean? Yeah. 4 rebounds, 6 assists. He could have that same stat line, but what I would like to see go up are his 3-point percentage and his steals.
Yes, steals.
If those two things can go up, I think that would help his case. Also, too, the Kings have to win more games. You got to get in that 50 range, you know what I mean, to be considered MVP, because if we look at the records of Philly, the Nuggets, and I think Milwaukee, so Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, they were all in the 50 range, I believe, of winning games. Is that correct? If we could look that up real quick.
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah, look that up. I'm pretty sure they all won 50-plus games. Kings were around, 40, how many games?
43.
Somewhere, yeah. So you got to win. You got to get to that 50. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I'm gonna say if the Kings could get to 50+ games and he averages that same stat line, maybe average more steals and get that 3-point percentage up, that's where I say yes, he could be a dark horse MVP candidate, definitely.
Milwaukee had 58 games when they won. Denver had 53.
And Philly had what?
And then Philly had 54.
See what I mean?
And the Kings had 48.
48.
So
they had 48.
So I don't feel like anybody who is not winning and not in that 50 range, you're not right. You're not going to get MVP. So got to get up there in the wins, improve your defense, and improve that 3-point percentage. So I mean, but it's an interesting topic. I like the fact that they're even talking about it on the national scale, because the first place that I saw it was Kendrick Perkins on ESPN. So right, and then, we kind of started talking about it regionally and locally after that. Definitely. But that started from a national conversation. So we're on the radar, man.
Yeah. And I mean, and no knock. Like I said, he's been putting in the work. Yeah. He's starting to go ahead and make a name for himself and start to get people to pay attention to him. And the way that they got the rankings now, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, if they stay ranked where they're at right now and get a little bit more games underneath their belt as far as on a national standpoint, then I can go ahead and honestly see him being put in that race.
Yeah.
But like I said, you're competing with a bunch of players that have not been making noise last year that could make noise this year. Kevin Durant.
Come out strong, come out strong, consistent. Make sure you're in that top 3 again in the West.
Definitely.
Get that up to 50 games instead of 48. And,
yes, for sure.
And you're gonna be in talks whether the East Coast media bias likes it or not. Like if you do that, definitely. You're going to be in MVP talks and you're going to get votes. So, but now, that's Deaaron Fox. Interesting topic, man. Interesting topic. So next we're going to go to Jaylen Brown, man. Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. He just agreed to a 5-year, $304 million super max extension. Woo, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, man.
First $300 million deal.
Now, for me and for a lot of other people, the lasting impression that we have of Jaylen Brown is pretty much Miami just putting their foot on their neck of the Boston Celtics and just taking their heart. You know what I'm saying? The whole series, even though it did go 7 games, it didn't feel like a 7. It felt like they probably should have lost in like 5 the way they were playing.
4 or 5,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But in my opinion, I felt like the Boston Celtics were the more talented team. I just felt like they didn't have no heart. So that's the lasting impression in my mind. You just gave a team that probably should have went to the NBA Finals and might have had a chance of winning. You just gave one of these guys $304 million, right? Not knocking Jaylen Brown, but I just feel like could you have traded something and got more value in return? Doughboy, what's your thoughts on this contract? Would you have re-signed Jaylen Brown to that contract, or would you have tried to move him, got more pieces, and try to get better and build around, continue to build around Jason Tatum? What would you have did?
Congratulations to him getting his bag first and foremost.
Big bag, man.
You know what I mean?
Big bag.
Definitely big bag.
Huge
First
bag.
$300 million contract out there. You know what I'm saying, so far. In my opinion, did he deserve the deal? I would say no. I mean, I felt like, you could possibly trade him, get a little bit more trade assets. But like I said, who's out there for you to go ahead and trade to get back in return that's going to actually produce?
So you wouldn't assign him to that 304?
I probably wouldn't assign him to 304. I probably would have been a little bit lower than that. Maybe 280, 270, somewhere in there, depending, and see what he would, take. But when you look at the options out there, like what would you have traded him for? And what would you got back in return as far as productivity goes is what I'm looking at.
Now, that's an interesting take because I don't know. I don't think there were really many. I don't think there were many trade rumors around him. I do know that before Durant got traded to Phoenix, I believe Boston was looking at packaging up Jaylen Brown to acquire Kevin Durant. So maybe that's kind of how they value him. They need a player back and that, another superstar, all-star caliber player.
Definitely, for sure.
So I mean, I guess a package would probably look like something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would definitely have to be a superstar back in return. It couldn't just be a couple little pieces that you can plug in off the bench and a couple little, maybe one starter, but it had to be an actual superstar that came back in return.
Yeah.
Now, with the pieces that they picked up in the offseason, we're going to get Porzingis. I think, is he signed over there?
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
I think that with the help of them having like a legit big man to help out with Williams, which I'm high on him.
Robert Williams.
I feel like, Robert, yes, I'm high on him too as well. I feel like he's going to go ahead and get an intricate part for them to go ahead and succeed. But I think Porzingis being there now and being able to stretch the floor inside out, it should open up some more things for Jaylen, and Tatum. But, more so since we're talking about, Brown right now, it should help him out, offensively, with getting some more buckets, and stuff like that. So, I mean,
it's tough because I feel like that's so much money for a guy that just got
he got Jimmy took his heart.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
it would just be hard for me to know that and be like, oh yeah, here goes 304. Like, and I feel like I should have been in the finals. It's like, I don't know. It'd be hard for me to
they should have actually won one, to be real with you.
Tell you what you think about this deal, man?
But you was just in the finals with him.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And you lost that one too.
And you lost that one.
And I feel like they were the better team that series too.
They were. They definitely were the better team.
And you lost to the Warriors, and then you lose to the Heat. You're losing to teams that aren't better than you right now. And that's what's scary. You're getting to a certain point, but you're losing to teams that are not better than you. That's where it's like, oh,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Boston's one of those teams where they're young and they have to go through these kind of situations in order.
How many years are they going to go through it? Because let's not forget the years before when they was going Game 7 with Bron and them.
Yes.
Against Cleveland.
I don't break this up. I give it another 2 to 3 years before I break this up.
Another 3? It's already been like 4.
Well, I mean, you got to think. I get where Teddy's coming from in a sense because you did just sign him to a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
So
okay.
at least you're gonna have to out that 5. You got to at least run that back
fair.
three more years. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean,
let him improve. Let him get
improve. Yes.
Right. Let him work on his left. You know what I mean?
So Teddy, you wouldn't have moved him. You wouldn't have moved off him. Is what you're saying, and you would have signed that. You would have signed him to that deal.
I would have had to sign him to that because that's the market.
That's the market.
Yes, definitely.
And like you said, you wouldn't move off of him. So
I would move off of him. Nope.
I mean, you got to think about like, well, what are you going to get back in return? You know, this is what's going to set the market.
They might have put feelers out there. We don't know. Maybe on the low. Some teams are good at.
Hero.
Well, no, not even that. I would say like maybe like some young up and comers or something like that.
Like who? Like who would you say?
Well, I did read somewhere at some point that Houston was possibly interested.
But who they gonna get back in return from Houston? Though?
It would have been like a Jaylen Green picks, Jaylen Green, maybe somebody.
Then at that point, you're starting all over. Damn near.
Watch Jaylen Green too. By the way.
Oh, Jaylen Green's not no bad player. He's not a bad player at all. But I feel
y'all out there, watch Jaylen Green next season. Watch the kid. But I did hear something like that. I did hear.
We watched him.
Oh, here we go. I did hear something like Houston, Ime Udoka, the connection. You know what I mean? Being the former coach.
But the cool part about it is, like I said, by that point, if you go ahead and bring Green over there, and you go ahead and ship, Brown out, you're almost getting to the point where you're blowing that team up and get ready to start all over.
I don't think that's a blow up. I don't think it's a blow up.
I mean,
Jaylen Green can average 20 right along Jason Tatum's 30.
He's not no Brown though, bro.
What
yet.
Hold on. What does not know Jaylen Brown know? What does he bring that you feel like Jaylen Green can't bring?
I agree.
Huh? What you say, Teddy?
Preach,
man.
Boy.
What you say, Teddy?
Go ahead and preach, Pastor Dope Boy.
No, Teddy. I want to hear what you got to say.
Go ahead, Teddy. Go ahead.
I'm not trading Jaylen.
I'm not either.
I'm not saying I'm just saying like
I'm not doing that either, bro. I'm not entertaining that either.
So you wouldn't entertain it? Okay.
Not at all.
I'm not trading the all-star for an unknown. I'm just not.
Yes, I'm not doing that neither.
Even when you're not getting the results that you feel like you should be getting out of that all-star.
I mean, he's proven so much so far.
I am getting the results. I'm getting the results because I'm getting to the finals or I'm getting
to the Eastern Conference. Yeah,
every year. It's so fun. You know what's funny?
Jaylen's not going to do that for them.
Hold on, though, boy. It's so funny how his philosophy changes per team and and per who he like. Because if I said something like, "Oh, the Lakers got to the Western Conference Final," oh yeah, that's just the Western. Yeah, break it up. Oh, try to. But now when it's somebody, but he be doing that. It depends on the team. His whole philosophy changed. But I'm gonna let you continue though.
I'm
gonna let you continue.
I'm not even entertaining that.
Okay,
I'm not entertaining.
So you guys both agree to you guys both agree to the 304.
I can't even mad at that because that's going to be the standard for me. He set the bar, and from here on out, the next crop of players that's going to come up in here next is going to go ahead and average over that for sure.
I will say this. Right now. If you put Jaylen Brown on the Houston Rockets came on Boston with Tatum, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you made that swap right now, I guarantee.
Don't say it. Don't say what.
Boston ain't making the playoffs.
Houston would be a top. But then there'd be a top 5 team in the West with that swap right now.
And what will Boston be?
Boston.
They won't make the. They won't even make the play. They'll make the playing game.
They wouldn't even be a top 5.
No, they'll
conference team nowhere near it.
I can't wait to read
playing game.
See,
I'm
surprised at you, Teddy White, because I don't be wrong. Like every time we look back 2-3 years later, I'll always be right with what I be saying, and I be early. I'll be going out on limbs. I'm not on the surface. I go out on limbs. Watch Jaylen Green this season, y'all.
No. Hey, look, we're not taking away nothing.
I know you're not. I'm just saying, watch him. That's what I'm saying.
He'll be. I put like this, Jaylen.
I'm just saying, watch him.
He continues to play the way he plays right now.
I'm just saying, watch him. Just watch him.
He should be an all-star within the next maybe 2 or 3 years.
Just watch him. That's all I'm saying.
2 or 3 years maybe.
Just watch.
He's playing in a tough Western. He's playing 2 or 3. He's playing in a tough Western Conference, bro.
Oh my God. Okay, all right.
2 or 3.
So Jaylen Brown, man. he remains a Boston Celtic. We'll see what him and Jason Tatum can do. Also too, it might be hard to build a team around those two contracts. Like we said, we know Jason Tatum's coming up. He's going to get over $300 million.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's going to be really tough to build a competitive team around, and that might be a reason why I would have possibly entertained some trade ideas. I don't know if I would have did it or pulled the trigger, but I might have if I was Boston. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this stuff then. If that is the question, then who would you have entertained and which players would you entertain outside of Green? Green, who else would you entertain? Just for the
sake of time, I can't. I would have to like go through each roster and kind of look. I would have did it. I can't just say off the head right now, but I would have thought about trading that guy because of how I feel like they crumbled in the last two playoff years, and I felt like maybe you can put something else around Tatum. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just not working. Maybe that's a new CJ and Dame. Like it's just not working.
Though.
You know what I'm saying?
They've tried.
Like I said, we'll see. But I would have entertained trades.
And then with them losing,
not saying I would have pulled the trigger, but I'm saying I would have entertained trades.
And then the cool part about it is they just lost Marcus Smart too as well. So this dynamic of this change.
You lost your dog. You lost your dog.
You lost your yes, you did. You lost your
dog.
That.
You know what I'm saying?
That grit. That grit.
You don't have that. And you already look how they look. So we already see you got a lack of that. You got a lack of dog and heart in you. So I don't know what we're gonna see, man. Let's see if Boston made the right move. So.
We shall see.
Congratulations to Jaylen Brown. That's a whole lot of money. He is now the highest,
definitely. Congratulations.
the richest contract in the league as of right now.
You know what I'm thinking?
Hold on. Okay, and it will be fully guaranteed and include a trade kicker, but the final year will not include a player option. So he
about that third year.
So, yeah. So,
but you know what the question is? If Luka's gonna want at least about 340, right? 342 somewhere in there.
To keep losing? Oh, my bad.
If you're Dallas, we should be asking this question. If you're Dallas, do you entertain Luka 340?
It's the same thing you said about Jaylen Brown. What else you gonna do?
I mean, you're gonna have to. That part, but I mean,
you're gonna have to.
What do you get back in return?
I'm not. What do
you get the king? You can get the King's ransom for that, but
you can't. For sure.
At least Jaylen Brown. We get into the playoffs. We get into the Eastern Conference Finals. Like this dude. Come on, man. Y'all better stop disrespecting Jaylen Brown.
Hey, look. I'm not. Hey, listen. I'm not disrespecting Jaylen Brown at all.
No, I like it. But the thing about. Go ahead. I think y'all ranking him a little higher in y'all minds, and he is in mine.
No. Whoa. Hold on.
He is in mine.
I'm not ranking him high by far because we've seen the last 2 years what Jimmy Butler went ahead and did to that boy in these playoffs.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that just goes to show you right there. That's why I said at the very beginning, if I was Boston, I probably wouldn't have signed him to that deal. But at the same token, it's like, what else is out there? So right now, at this point, I'm held to this. I have to re-sign this guy. I have to.
I ain't gonna lie. If I could have got like an Ingram and CJ, I'll do that. Now, if you just want me to.
Right. I mean, yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Would you? Yeah.
I'll do that quick. and I will win more games.
It depends on how they mesh. Yeah, I mean, I can see them winning more games with that roster.
CJ can play with anybody.
Those players.
CJ,
yes.
And then Brandon Ingram being a wing, along with Tatum, like those two guys on the wing running the floor. I'd do something like that.
They just signed too as well.
There you go.
I mean, or unless he would have had to be a part of the deal, or you had Robert. Hopefully, Robert Williams can go ahead and be the alpha dog that what's called was. Hopefully, he might be able to.
He wasn't very consistent last year.
Well, he was hurt. He was hurt majority of last year too as well. Yeah, the year before though, he balled out. He was this past year. He was definitely hurt a lot. Didn't play a lot of games.
He was definitely battling.
So and that's probably the reason why they went out to go Porzingis, so that way they can go ahead and be like, hey, look, we got somebody that's going to consistently, but it will be. Something to watch to see how well this team meshes. Now they sign him to that contract. Westcott's gone now, so we'll see what takes place. But Jaylen, good luck. Let's see if you're really worth that 300, buddy.
Yeah, man. Nah, congratulations, like we said, man.
I'm going.
Go ahead.
Oh, now go ahead and give him this. Go ahead, give him that.
Oh man, we're gonna clap it up for Jaylen Brown and that contract. Next, we're going to Bronny, man. So first of all, I just want to say I'm glad he's okay. Everybody knows now, but on Monday, Bronny basically had a heart attack, man. He had a heart attack in practice on Monday, UFC practice, and then the news was reported on Tuesday, and for a couple of days nobody really said anything. Then we had LeBron James make a statement. I believe, was that today? Yes, he made a statement today. He said, "I want to thank the countless people sending my family love and prayers. We feel you, and I'm so grateful. Everyone's doing great. We have our family together, safe and healthy, and we feel your love. We will have more to say when we're ready, but I wanted to tell everyone how much your support has meant to all of us. James Gang. # James Gang." So that's all we pretty much know is he went into cardiac arrest on Monday. He was in the hospital for a couple of days, and now he is discharged. And LeBron James just left that message, man. Let's go with Dope Boy. Dope Boy, what's your initial thoughts on this whole situation?
It was definitely shocking to hear about it.
Yeah.
For somebody so young to go ahead and have something like this happen to him, it was kind of shocking. I definitely sent my prayers out to him. Hopefully, go ahead and get healthy. Like on the basketball court here eventually. But what I did see though, is I did see a clip on NBA Today where Dr. Jonathan Drazner, which is a director for the University of Washington's Medical Center for Sports Cardiology, he said, and I'm just paraphrasing some of the stuff, but he said in as far as like male college basketball athletes, they have the higher risk of actually having this happen.
Did you say why?
So I was actually, no, it did not. I mean, well, he went into it, but like I said, I'm kind of paraphrasing it or whatever. Those medical technical terms that I was like not familiar with.
Yeah.
But he did say that this actually does happen with a lot of male college basketball athletes. They are at higher risk to go ahead and have a cardiac arrest. And he said that it's 1 in 2,000 basketball athletes go into cardiac arrest, bro.
So it's pretty rare, but for Bronny to kind of to have that person, LeBron James, you know what I'm saying? Like, let it be there.
Right.
But that's kind of crazy.
Right,
yeah. So 1 in 2,000, you know what I'm saying? That's not
1 in 2,000.
That's not common,
But he did say, which kind of shocked me, overall, but he did say that it is male college basketball players.
I wonder why.
Not football.
Right.
Not baseball, none of that. Track, he said basketball,
I wonder why.
male athletes, and I'm sure I wonder why too as well. It makes you want to go ahead and do a little, find out the reason why it is more male athlete, more of it being college basketball players than anything else.
Yeah.
So I was kind of shocked by that when he went ahead and gave the statistic out, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I just hope, for me, I hope that he can definitely come back, get the testing. I'm pretty sure he's going to go ahead and get the best doctors to go ahead and figure out what's going on with him. And hopefully it's nothing really serious that might go ahead and jeopardize his actual basketball. Because I know that, LeBron James Sr., had hopes and aspirations of possibly playing with his son in the same team. But, of course, first, and you want to make sure everything like that is clear, you know. So it was shocking, definitely, and I just hope that everything, he can go ahead and bounce back from that for sure.
Teddy White, what's your thoughts?
Man, first off, prayers to his family. You know what I mean? That had to be a scary feeling,
especially for LeBron, his son. You know what I mean? Like,
man,
your first
definitely,
for
sure.
And in this object of life, the thing is, we want our kids to outlive us. You know what I'm saying? So
definitely.
But again, prayers out to his family, and again, thank God that he was actually practicing and training when there was others around, and this situation didn't happen when he was in the gym by his.
Definitely.
Definitely got to be a scary situation to be 18 years old and go through this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when you're 18, 19 years old, you feel like every day is promised. I know.
Right. Definitely.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So. It's a huge wake-up call, and right now basketball is probably the furthest thing.
Definitely.
I'm not gonna say from his mind, because when you're 18 years old or 19 and you're doing something that you love and that you do every single day, your first thought is, man, I can't wait to get back. When can
Back
I
on there,
get back
right?
home?
Definitely.
You know what I'm
Sure,
saying? But
I agree,
for his
110%.
family, for his parents, you know what I'm saying? That's the furthest thing from their mind is that sport.
No, definitely, yeah. I mean, kind of piggybacking off what you're saying. You got to definitely get basketball. Not even go ahead and get the medical test. Ran on you. Yeah. Get back to health. And then figure it out from there. What's steps in chapter in your life. And hopefully, like I say, he can go ahead and bounce. First and foremost, definitely get that health. Looked at and get everything taken care of before any other major steps happen. Sure. I hope prayers up to him. Has a speedy recovery.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, Bronny James is, again, for y'all, everybody should know, but he's the son of LeBron James. He's 18 years old. He just committed to USC maybe about 5 months ago or so, four or 5 months ago. Yeah, so, he was looking to have a big year. Everybody's looking for him to have a big year, I should say. Definitely an exciting, year that's going to get a lot of attention down at USC. 6'3" guard. He was ranked number 20 in the ESPN 100 for the class of 2023. So he was definitely a coveted recruit this year. Really good player. If you haven't seen him play, he could definitely play. But hopefully he's able to get back on the court, man, soon. I guess we'll hear more news about what happened, why it happened, things like that. And, in the coming days, LeBron James said, I guess he kind of insinuated they're going to let everybody know what's going on soon, but just not at the moment. So, yeah, man, again, prayers up to the family. I'm glad he's good. I'm glad he's all right. Young kid has a bright future ahead of him with whatever he does, whether it's basketball, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's the son of LeBron James, so his future going to be bright regardless of what happens with him. So, but hopefully he can get back on that court real soon. For sure. And lastly, man, ESPN, they did a NBA power ranking today, right? And the interesting thing was the Sacramento Kings, they had them in the top half of the better teams of the league, but I feel like they might have had them ranked a little low. All right, so before we get into like where they had them, I'm going to go through the team. I'm going to go through the number of teams that they said were above the Kings, and then we'll get to the Kings spot. So number 1, they had the Denver Nuggets. Number 2, they had the Milwaukee Bucks. 3, the Boston Celtics. 4, the Phoenix Suns. 5, the Miami Heat. 6, the Philadelphia 76ers. Los Angeles Lakers at 7. Golden State at 8. Cleveland Cavaliers at 9. Memphis Grizzlies at 10. LA Clippers at 11. And the Kings, we finally get to the Sacramento Kings way down here at number 12. All right. The Kings finished with a record of 48-34 last season, almost 50 wins, and they finished 3rd in the West. But yet somehow they're number 12 in the power rankings, according to ESPN. Teddy White, I need you to sound off, man. Talk to me. What is going on with this power? Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? And if you do not agree with the King spot, where would you put him? Who would you move down? Who would you move up? Et cetera, et cetera. Talk to me.
In my opinion, in my specialty, you know what? I got the Kings as a top 10 team.
Okay.
In the NBA.
So top 10.
There's a couple teams that they better. I understand that they went through 12 because they think last season was a fluke. You know what?
That's pretty much. That's the elephant in the room. They're basically saying that was a fluke. Everybody's saying that's a fluke. We put a poll up actually last week, and we said how many games do you think the Kings are going to win? Some people said between 30 and 35, and they won.
That's low.
And they won 48. They won 48 this past. Wow. So some of y'all think they're just going to completely just collapse or I would love to get some comments on that. If you guys did see that, or if you guys did vote, and you were one of the people who kind of voted for the Kings to be in that 30 range, what makes you say that? But Teddy White, I'll let you continue though. Talk to me about who you would have moved down, or who do you move down to put the Kings in the top 10?
I feel like right now today, with James Harden, Philly, I feel like the Kings are better than Philly.
Okay.
You know what?
Golden State.
Yeah, I may have them over Golden State right now. I may have them over
Cleveland.
Also,
Cleveland.
I think they're a better team than Cleveland.
The two tricky ones for me was Memphis and the Clippers. Those are the two I looked at, and I was like, Now Memphis did win 51 games, and they have Ja Morant. You know what I mean? So I can understand why people would kind of have them higher. But then we have Deaaron Fox. Like people got to start putting respect on Fox names, bro. Like he's in the same class as a Ja. Is he high flying like him? He can jump, but he's not like high flying like Ja. But I would say he's in that same caliber of player as a Ja Morant. So, and I know the national media is just obsessed with Ja Morant, so I get it. But I don't know, man. The Clippers haven't been able to stay healthy. They won 44 games. And they lost in the first round. I think the Kings are better than them. Yeah. So I kind of agree with you. Yeah, maybe I would move the Clippers down. I might have us like 9.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
For them to say Cleveland is better than the Kings.
That's crazy. I definitely don't agree with that. I definitely don't.
Nah. People gotta understand we are not a low management.
Everybody plays every night.
People thinking that last season was a fluke. You know what? We didn't bring in that big off-season trade, that big
player,
off-season guy to make. You know what I mean? But the thing is, the Kings got better at depth. One thing we did, they got quality at backup positions also.
Yeah.
And we also got better defensively. You know what I mean? So expect those things to happen. So I got Kings top, not so big of a drastic change, but I got Kings top 10. I mean, for a team that hasn't been in the playoffs for the last 16 years until last year.
And I think that stench is still on people's, what I'm saying? They still smell they still smelling that too.
It is. Definitely.
Like the beam, they call it corny. You know what I mean? They and I feel like some teams feel like we kind of just like jumped on a couple of these teams and people weren't really expecting the Kings to be much. But here's the thing, people don't realize too, even in years past, when we started streaming on this channel, we would watch the games and we would do live reaction to the games, right? How many of those games that were just close games that we didn't have a closer like Sabonis or a coach like Mike Brown, or or a guy like Malik Monk off the bench, or now we have all these different things in place. And I think some of these media writers and people on the national level or stage or whatever feel like the Kings are just going to be like right back to the same old Kings. This is not the same old Kings culture. And we have better players since those years of having like the Luke Waltons as a coach and things like that. The bad attitude of a Buddy Hield and things like that. You know what I mean? This is not those same teams. And even then, we were competitive. We just we go on crazy losing streaks and we didn't know how to dig ourselves out of that. But now I feel like this is a different cast of guys, man. And Mike Brown and his coaching staff are going to have these guys ready. I think. I definitely think they were a top 10 team, man. I feel like that 12 was a little disrespectful. A little disrespectful. I definitely wouldn't have had Cleveland above them.
No, not at all.
I mean, everybody else I could give.
I wouldn't, man.
Everybody else I can see why they had them.
And like I said, I think the reason why
Cleveland, no.
To kind of piggyback off what you're saying, I think the reason why a lot of that is the reason why it's ranked the way it's ranked is because of the televised games that are being televised.
National media, the media bias. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, for me, I don't see them being better than the Heat, or I don't see the Heat being better than them.
Oh, the Heat, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Heat, no.
Yeah, Heat is ranked 5, and they're ranked number 5.
No.
So for me, I was baffled to see that. I'm like, whoa, dang, the Heat ranked number 5, like for real. If anything, if you're gonna go ahead and put a team up there at 5, I'm saying I would probably put the Grizzlies probably to move them up. I don't see the Kings better, or I don't see the Heat better than the Kings. I don't see the Lakers being better than the Kings just based on their injury situation.
Can't stay healthy.
They can't stay healthy.
Philly.
They're definitely.
Hey, Philly.
They're definitely Philly too as well. And it just depends on what happens with Westcott. You know what I mean? Over there,
if James Harden ain't there,
you talking about James Harden? Yeah, if James ain't there, and depending on what they get back, Teddy said it earlier. They're better than the 76ers. They're damn for sure better than the Cavs. So the Warriors is a toss up. The Warriors is a toss up because we just don't know what's going to happen. Yep. We don't know how that mess is going to go ahead and happen when he gets up over there with all them.
Clippers health.
Clippers health. Yeah, because the Clippers, I feel like they can be ranked a little bit higher too as well. But because they can't stay healthy. This is the reason why they're lower. So for me, I definitely would have the Kings at the top.
No, I mean with what
7 through 10.
I was gonna say, but what we just went through, we're kind of putting them at like 7, 8-ish.
Yeah, 7 through 10. I would rank them somewhere in there. Nothing, higher than that, but 7 through 10 for sure. And we have to just go ahead and see.
Yeah.
We have to see what they go ahead and can build on from the year, from last year, and hopefully they can. And we just hope that it's not going to be a fluke season for them to where they just went ahead and got through the season because you had, you had the Clippers that were hurt, you had the Lakers that were hurt, the Suns, they really couldn't figure it out, at one point. So, you're getting back a healthy team to start with for everybody.
Yeah.
And depending on how training camp goes and how they start the season, will determine on whether they get into that playoff spot, whether they have another good year again, and whether they games. So we shall see. But like I said, right now, based off of what I seen last year, compared, the Kings should be at least in the top 7 through 10 for sure.
Teddy,
12, I felt like that was a little disrespectful.
Any additional thoughts on this, Teddy?
Nah, man, I'm sticking with what I said, man.
And a lot of this too depends on going back to our first topic, what we said about Deaaron Fox. You know what I mean? A lot of this does depend on what he does. You know what I mean? Because he's the best player on the team. I know Sabonis kind of got that title for some reason. I don't know. I think it was interchangeable. I feel like it was.
Right.
Some people kind of. I think them together is what makes the Kings what they are currently.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
But if I had to say, if somebody put my feet to the fire, hey, who's the better player? I would say Deaaron Fox.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think what's going to be one of the most important things is for the Kings to be successful and for be in that top 4, top 5
consistently all year.
Yes.
One of the biggest things is going to be the growth of Keegan Murray and Davion Mitchell. Those two things are going to play an important part of where the Kings.
I agree.
Well, you know what's crazy? I don't know what are they asking. We kind of know what they expect of Keegan. What are they asking of Davion at this point of his career? I know what I would ask because he's a great defender, right? On ball defender. Two things that I would like Davion to work on is his 3-point shooting and his court vision as a passer. I need you to become a better passer. If he could do those two things, he's going to be in the league a long time because he plays defense. You're a Pat Bev that can now shoot the 3 and pass. Oh, you're damn near Jaylen Brown. You know what I'm saying at that point. You know what I mean? But
I agree.
So Teddy, I agree with you, but I'm curious to know what they expect of Davion. You know what I mean? What are they asking him to work on this summer, in your opinion?
I would agree with exactly what you're hitting that open shot
and passing,
that 3,
vision, court vision, that point guard IQ.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because right now I feel like when Deaaron Fox is subbed out, I feel like we're not getting that same quality of
the productivity goes down. Yeah,
it does. And then now you got Deaaron he has to play 35 minutes, whereas some games, all right, maybe he could play 30. You know what I mean?
Right.
Davion could play 20 or 18. Right. Then you have a couple minutes of where Monk is playing point, maybe 5 minutes. Definitely. Just to kind of give our guys some rest, our main guys some rest. That's going to be a key thing to winning games this year too. The bench productivity. But now I love that we have Sasha though. You know what I mean? Sasha, like you said, the Keegan jump. So I think we could be just as good as. I mean, no worse than last season. 48 wins should be almost a standard for us now with this current makeup. No.
Well, I mean, for
48
me, like
to 50 wins, that should be like the expectation.
It depends on what the rest of these Western Conference teams do.
I don't like all that.
Hey, listen. You got to think,
you know
bro.
What I will say? No, you don't know. If the Clippers stay healthy, I've been picking them. I've been picking the Clippers the last 3 years. I'm like, bro, I say the same thing.
Right.
If they stay healthy, but they could never stay healthy. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to think though. So just hypothetically, if they can, right? You have Denver. Okay. You have Memphis. You got Phoenix. You got the Clippers. You got Golden State. You got the Lakers. And we got to see what Dallas does now. You know what I'm saying? Now with them playing a full year together and seeing what the makeup of that team is going to go ahead and be.
I know I'm kind of
it's going to be hard, bro.
I'm not sleeping on OKC trying to make a playoff run.
And OKC, exactly. They got better. Yes.
And New Orleans with Zion.
And New Orleans.
I feel like
New Orleans, right.
Zion got something to prove this year too.
So what I'm saying to y'all, this team, these teams, it's going to be tough, and it's going to be hard for the Kings to possibly get that 48 to 50 wins if these teams do happen to stay healthy and they do mesh well. Sacramento might be on the outside looking in on a playoff game or be playing game.
How many games are the Kings winning next season, sir?
Come on, exactly. Wait. Let's phrase it like this. Would you take the Kings getting 48 wins or more? If you had to put your money on it, or these teams that you guys are talking about with the if, and these teams ain't done nothing in the last 3 years. We still hoping that these teams will be healthy. Which one? If you had to put your money on it, that the Kings will get 48 wins or more, or these teams is going to stay healthy and be a better team.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Man, I'm putting my money on the Kings. I feel like, you know what I mean? Because these dudes had already showed me 3 years that these guys can't stay healthy. You know what I mean?
So you feel like that's going to be the norm for these teams? Just the typical what we're going to get from like the Clippers, the Lakers,
the New Orleans Pelicans.
maybe even Warriors. They've had injury. Like Steph was out for a while, Draymond was out for a while.
That's what I said. I mean, if these teams can go ahead and stay healthy, I'm gonna be a betting man we
got Ja Wick. You know what I'm saying? One more flash of a gun and he's gone. You know what I mean? So
it's definitely up in the air. But like I said, for me, being a betting man, I'd probably have to go ahead and go with the odds and say that I think
you don't think the Kings are gonna win as many games. I want a number. Give me a number.
I give them in.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
Probably 42, 43 games this year, bro, coming up. 42, 43. Just based on because of what I'm looking for, what took place and what transactions happened and what player movements went, who went where, who's coming back healthy.
So pretty much they're going to win half their games, lose half their games in your mind.
It could be a strong possibility. It could. Could be.
All right,
especially
now that we're kind of getting,
these teams stay healthy.
Hold on. Now that we're getting kind of deeper in this conversation, is that a failure of a season?
It would be, absolutely. For sure. Definitely.
You're coming off of. Absolutely, that's a failure.
Yes, it is for sure. 110%.
Absolutely,
it's a failure for sure.
Dang.
And it'd be one of them situations who you were. You know what I mean? In that situation,
they are who we thought they were.
You were exactly.
R.I.P. Denny Green, man.
Yeah, RP.
If they are a healthy team, they will get more. 70 games plus, 65 games plus, a bonus play 65 plus. They will win more games than 43.
I'll say 45. I'll say 45.
What?
You got to think it's a tough Western Conference. I feel like these cats are going to come back healthier. And the only, I guess, wild card players I can say on the outside looking in as far as, the Western Conference, is Zion going to go ahead and be healthy? Is he going to be able to play a full season or at least more than a full season?
I think he is this year.
It's Kawhi. Are we going to go ahead and do the low management you've been doing for like the last 6-7 years?
We're getting low management from Kawhi.
Right.
The thing with Kawhi is, will he stay healthy for the playoffs? I don't think the Clippers are really tripping on how many games they win. They don't.
No, they're not.
They just want to get Kawhi and Paul George to the playoffs healthy together.
Yes, healthy. Yes, exactly. So if PG comes back, PG-13, if he comes back healthy, I can see them taking the lead. Once Jai comes back off his 25-game suspension, they're going to be right back into the thick of things. You got Denver, you got Denver still, which we don't have to really talk about too much because they still have their core intact. You got the Suns now with Beal over there, that could possibly change some things up over there. And I don't know how good they might be considering that they don't have really that much depth on their bench right now. I'm going to be honest with you, man. The Kings are going to have some problems in the West, bro, with these teams. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, okay. Here's what I
think. Like I said, you got the Mavs. You got the Mavs, who haven't played. They haven't played a full year yet, so we're anxious to go ahead and see what's going to go ahead and happen with, with them two. And you got the Thunder, with Shea and Westcall coming back from his injury, playing center. Chet, you know what I'm saying?
Both Jalen Williams, Dort,
right, right, exactly. And then you got a young Houston team that's getting veteran players over there.
He hates when you mention Houston. By the way, he just doesn't buy it. You don't see though. You gonna see.
I mean, I do now. They got Van Fleet. They got
Van Fleet over there. Exactly.
I did say go back to the podcast. I said they have to get some veterans. Also,
they definitely do.
Van Fleet too.
Okay.
Yes. So, like I said, right now with the way it's constructed, I really do see it going to be a tight race in the Western Conference. If at least a good 75% of these superstar players can go ahead and stay healthy.
I'm listening to both of y'all. Of y'all, right?
Oh, yeah.
And at first I was like, yeah, Teddy. And then I'm listening to Dope Boy. I'm like, oh, this nigga right too. So I'm like, I'm kind of like, but I think where I'm going, I'm trying to like play the season out in my mind, right? And what I mean by this, what I mean by that is one of these teams that we think is going to be good, somebody's going to fall off for some reason, whether it's chemistry, whether it's injuries, whether it's they just had a bad start to the season. A lot of teams do that, like slow starts. Somebody's going to have a down start, rocky. Something's going to happen, right? Hopefully it's not us, but hold on, right? So that could be that could be knock on wood, somebody get hurt from Denver. Not a lot of depth there.
Right.
Aaron Gordon might get hurt. Porter Jr., you know what I'm saying? You know.
I mean, they got depth over there for sure.
No, they don't. They
only lost Brown.
Exactly. That was the extent of their depth. Nobody else was coming off that bench. That was a Jeff Green. It was him, Jeff Green, and who was the 8? The 8 man.
That was a short.
They're both gone. Green and Brown are gone.
Where's Green at?
Green went to Houston. Jeff Green went to Houston. So I just feel like maybe Denver might fall off, just not being as good. Hold on,
right?
Phoenix.
Go ahead.
Phoenix. What if their chemistry don't work out? And you, I think both of you guys mentioned their depth. What if that doesn't work out? Right. Again, Lakers, Clippers, always injured.
Lakers. Right.
Warriors have seen injuries the last couple of years too.
Definitely.
So I kind of feel like, and then I'm thinking about this: if the Kings are able to stay healthy, right, and then we already talked about pretty much the bench is going to be Sasha, Monk. You know what I mean? Davion. Like we got some depth now. We got Nerlens Noel going to be kind of that center anchor. You know what I mean? Rebounder, shot blocker, defender. You know, kind of our tough guy. I got him with Teddy. I'm going 50 wins.
Let's say this. Right?
I'm going with 50. I'm going 50. Because again, reiterating my reason. I feel like there's going to be some teams that fall off, either because of slow starts, chemistry, injury, and I just feel like the Kings are going to be better than people think.
No, you know what?
So those are my two reasons why I'm going to say 50 games.
You know what? At some point, we have to stop saying, you know what, the Kings got to go play these teams. You know what? These teams got to come play us.
Yeah. And that's my point.
And I feel that.
That's my point. That's my point. I feel like they're going to be better than what people are anticipating them to be, and that's reflective of this number 12. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we could be better than last season. I feel like Keegan's going to be better. I feel like our overall 3-point shooting is going to be better. I feel like our defense is going to be better. And we all have a year together. I feel like, I don't know, man.
They got a good core over there. They definitely got a good core over there. They can make a run.
Staying healthy, if we're able to keep the depth that we have healthy, I say 50-plus wins. I say 50-plus wins.
And Mike Brown scheming up the right,
I say,
you know what I'm saying, plays.
I say 50-plus. 50-plus.
I say 45, man. I say 45.
So you're saying a drop off from last year?
I mean, it's only by a couple games.
But you're basically saying the Kings did not get better. They didn't get better.
No, they did get better. But I just feel like everybody else that's in that conference got better too as well.
But you don't get better by losing more games,
bruh. You gotta understand what's taking place over this last little offseason, man.
I think he's
putting the level of competition a little higher. You're putting the Phoenixes higher. You're looking at the
Lakers.
I see what you're saying.
The Grizzlies when they come back fully healthy. You know what I mean?
Teddy White, going back to your point, you said they got to come play us. Forget we got to. And I see that it's kind of like tomato. It's like it's like half empty, half full. Which way are we looking at it? You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, we all have great valid points. I'm not knocking it at all, and I won't say if they win 50, it won't be shocking to me. You know, it won't be like, oh man, like they won 50, like for real. It'll be all right, cool. They did what we thought they were going to do based on because of the roster that they built around that team. You know, and like I said, if they get anything higher than 50, they go 55, you know, somewhere in there, 55, 56, 57 games. That will definitely be, you know, a statement saying, hey, look, we're around and we're not going anywhere, you know, and this might attract some more free agents to be like, hey, look, you know what? I like what Mike Brown got going on. I might have to go ahead and test a smaller market team to see what I might be able to go ahead and do, especially if they go ahead and get to the playoffs and knock some of these bigger, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bigger ranked teams off and bigger market teams like how they, you know what I'm saying, did last year.
All-Star break.
Come on. Oh yeah, we'll definitely know by then. All-Star break,
You've been saying
definitely
that.
know.
You've been saying that for a while. You've been saying that all summer. You feel like there's gonna be a move by All-Star.
Can't give
It's
up
gonna
my
happen.
It's gonna, I mean, in my mind right now, if we're just talking like right now, if we're just talking about a tentative trade, that would have to involve Davion and Herter, a package.
Take who you want.
Because
Herter,
or maybe Barnes. Those are like because Keegan's not going nowhere, Fox ain't going nowhere, Sabonis not going nowhere, Sasha not going nowhere, Monk not going nowhere. Monk might go somewhere. Monk might go somewhere if we can't re-sign him.
Well, he only signed a 1-year deal, right? And this is last year,
correct? He signed a 2-year.
He signed a 2-year deal.
And so this is his last year. So maybe if we can get some value from Monk,
he's on his last.
If we know he's not coming back. But normally, typically, you kind of keep your bench guys. You just ride it out and then go to the summer and just hope that, a la Bruce Brown. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're going to make a run with you and hope you resign after we win.
Right.
But then
the cold part about it, though, if he does,
dudes boost their value. Dudes boost their value.
It does.
Now you really can't pay him because somebody's going to give him $20 million a year, $30 million a year.
Yes,
so
exactly. So with that, if he does play like how Bruce Brown did and how he played last year,
he's gone.
During the season, during the playoffs, he's out of there.
He's gone.
Yeah. Out of there.
Yeah, he's gone. But man.
So it depends.
Very interesting takes with all three of us, man. I enjoyed that conversation. Enjoyed this podcast, man. It ain't all net no rim. episode number 4. You know what I mean? And man, that was like I said, man. Anything that pops up, we're gonna put some content together for y'all. We're gonna talk about it, So hopefully next week we'll have enough content to put together. If not, we'll probably skip a week, but we're definitely gonna be coming back. And we're gonna try to do as best we can heading into the season. But we got a few months left until everything starts and the news starts up. So
definitely.
So we'll see.
What we need to go ahead and do though, another poll, my brother. Let's go ahead. I don't know if we did the Fox. I don't know. Did we do the Fox? The Fox MVP poll.
I'll put that up right now.
I want that.
I'll put that up.
Yeah, I want that.
I'll put that up right now.
That.
And then also too, you guys drop your comments. Ask any and all questions that you want, whether it's basketball related, whether it's about us. If y'all want to know more about us, I know we just kind of hopped on YouTube and say, hey, listen to us. But like if y'all want to know more about us, just ask. You know what I'm saying? We could do a Q&A like that. Drop your basketball questions, comments, anything that we talked about. Let us know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. We need that.
Follow too as well. Follow us.
Like the video. And that's about it, man. Teddy White, Dope Boy Bush. I'll go by the name of Stealth, man. This is the All Net No Ram podcast number 4. Let's go.